But you alluded to it earlier, and it begs the question: how have we improved with me, DT, or have we improved as a team with these moves that we've made?
I hesitate. I hesitate on this.
Yeah.
Because there's some shades of last year happening here with free agency. I mean, we've added pieces to the offensive line, which we wanted. Okay, we added a new center in Nick Gates. We added a new right tackle in Andrew Wiley, which moves Cosme over. So our whole center out to the right is all brand new.
Yeah,
but I mean, Andrew Norwell and Trey Turner were new last year. They were cheap, and we thought we were on paper doing okay. So, and also if you think about it, like Gates has an injury history, and now we're signing this guy to be our starting center when we already have a starting center who has an injury history. So I'm a little lukewarm on have we improved our team. We've brought in new bodies, but are we all that much better? I'm not too sure. I do for now like the Cody Barton signing. I think it kind of, as we said earlier, it kind of shows that they devalue spending top dollar at that position, because of the way they use them. They're not a traditional 4-3 defense. They play the Buffalo nickel. They want an extra corner. They want an extra safety out there. So the fact that Barton can run, I think that's kind of intriguing. Obviously, the signing of Deron Payne keeps our best unit intact. So that is a positive there. So I feel like we made incremental steps to get better.
Yeah.
But here's my one of the nuggets that I got on, like, we could be better just because of what we got at quarterback. So, we want top acceptable passes out there.
You have to say all that over again.
Am I breaking up?
All right. Yeah.
Okay. All right. My internet's back. I saw looping. All right. Okay. So we went 7-8. We won 7 games, 8 games with Taylor Heineke as our quarterback the last 2 years. All right. All of a sudden, you look at some of the stats there, and Taylor Heineke and Carson Wentz last year were top 5 in throwing the most interceptable passes. All right. Jacoby Brissett was ranked 22nd among starting quarterbacks. So what that's saying is he's not gonna make mistakes out there. All right. You've got Sam Howell out there who's going to be essentially a rookie playing, but essentially you and I have said this about Heineke. Part of the reason why we're like, we love him, but it's like there's opportunities out there for the defense to be catching the ball. They just seem to drop it. Carson Wentz passes were easy for the defense to catch, whether they're sideline routes or deep balls over the middle. The defense caught all of his passes, but for some reason, Heineke's balls would get dropped by the defense and he wouldn't, but he threw bad passes that could have been turnovers. So just that part alone, and I think that's why they targeted Jacoby Brissett, which was this guy's not going to be risky with the ball. So if we can win 7-8 games with a quarterback that is risky, we should be able to be there or slightly better with someone who just values ball control, ball security a little bit more.
Right.
What and do you think? Do you think we're better?
Well, somebody like him, I think definitely it makes me think we're heading in the right direction. You know what I mean? We're normally in the last couple of years, we've gotten a free agent quarterback to be our guy, to be a starter, and both of them have fallen through, unfortunately, because of injury. Brissett, he's coming in, yes, to potentially compete for the job, but he's coming in to back up Sam Howell. Like, that's kind of the mindset of how we're trying to come into this. And I love that because of the fact that there is a lot of experience there. The man has, he has three seasons over 4 seasons over 1,000 yards and 3 over 2,500, where he's either come in or had to start for the injured quarterback they had, and he's been able to put up numbers. This man has never had a season where he's thrown more interceptions than touchdowns. That's not something we're used to. We're used to guys throwing it to the team like you just mentioned. With him, I love it. I absolutely, because I think now it's starting to come in. We're starting to see, okay, you got your starter. Now we got to kind of come in and work with you. Now, okay, the quarterback room is starting to shape up. Then on the top of that, you talk about different linemen, getting Wiley, getting Gates, you know what I mean? Trying to solidify just those pieces of the line. Hopefully, obviously, we're hoping they're better than the two pieces we picked up last year. But it still is saying we know what holes we have as far as line, as far as needing extra quarterback help. We're taking care of those. Unfortunately, like you said, we haven't addressed linebacker. Cody Barton, we'll see. We see that Nolan Smith said, he didn't think he was that great. We hopefully the athleticism will help him out, especially with our D tackles, Jonathan Allen, Deron Payne in front of him. They'll allow him to roam, but more so, hopefully this will free up Jamin Davis to be able to go play sideline to sideline and just be straight and instinctual. So I think we're on the right path. I think we're in the right direction. I love it a lot more than those years that we were doing the normal Dan Snyder signings where we're getting, the Adam Archulettas and the, Bruce Smith and the Dion and all that nonsense. I feel like we're doing what normally we're re-signing the guys that we know have contributed. We're bringing in some guys that we know can help contribute. And I personally, I think we're on the right track. To say that we're better today than we were season, I can't say that with a straight face. I don't think better is what you're gonna say. I mean, I say like 1.5 points above. Like I feel like we're going in the right direction and we're putting different patches on different places, but better, it's hard to say better.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Altogether.
I agree. Well, and I think I do agree with Nathan. He said Bruce Smith wasn't all that bad of a signing. I think he had 8 sacks his first year, maybe 5 his second, and then he fell off the cliff. But Dion, Jeff George wasn't even a question mark of a signing. It was horrible, Nathan. It was horrible. He divided the locker room and got a coach fired.
What's up, Taylor? Browns fan.
But what was I trying to say? I lost my train of thought. No, I don't. Like you said, we went smaller pieces in free agency because essentially where we have our gaping holes, they want to piece a little bit of free agency, but use the draft. That's where we should be anticipating another starting offensive lineman in the draft, a starting corner or a depth corner picked high. Potentially tight end and another linebacker. So we're the pieces that we're still pointing out like we haven't addressed. That's what they want to use the draft for. And a lot of that is because of capital, the cost of everything.
Right. And I mean, to be honest, if you look at this situation, this is a perfect situation. You signed up your defense. You putting money in big key positions, except for obviously, as we saw, linebacker, potential corner. But what you're also doing is you're banking on Sam Howell, the rookie contract, and him playing solid. So that if you have him play either meet expectations or go above expectations, you're coming into next year at this time doing great because now you can really spend up on certain positions to really kind of bolster what they have going on. So I think we're in a great position as far as what we're doing, much better than last year at this time when we're sitting here talking about paying Carson Wentz 28 mil and Landon Collins, Ioannidis, all these different guys leaving as a result of that. I think right now we're in an ideal situation going forward. And I think that's where we've improved is that we normally are the team that makes the we want to win now moves, but not with the win now players. You know what I mean? We're with guys that if you're on Madden and putting this, they'll all be good, but in real life, they're not the win now guys. You know what I mean? And that's what we've been doing. But right now, it seems like we're building a team. We're building an actual culture to go not this year, but in 2, 3, 4, 5 years, bringing back the greatness, bringing back what we all fell in love with in Washington.
Right. Well, and like they're saying there, we're a quarterback away. They're essentially saying that they also feel like they have some of the pieces in place. They feel like they've got the wide receiver core to make plays, that the running backs that we have are dynamic enough, that the defense led by our defensive line has the pieces in place. They like our safeties, where it's like they just feel the need is we needed to add our starting offensive lineman. We did, get younger at center. They did, and then the rest of these pieces can be, taken care of through the draft to build that roster.
Yeah, absolutely. So It's hard to say we've gotten better, but it is optimistic to say, okay, we're kind of in the right direction.
I'll be honest. I'll say this. I'm sure the other three teams at the NFC East are like, well, what's Washington doing? You know what I mean? So if you take it from an outside perspective, they're probably like, well, we're not worried. What have you done that's going to scare us?
Right. So
they're not scared of your North Carolina quarterback. I'm just going to
it's okay. It's okay. It's all right. They don't need to be scared of my guy. They don't need to be scared of him. Let's go.